And we're live on Adobe Radio. Thank you for tuning in. This is Wesam's World, another wonderful episode headed your way every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I have friend, colleague, the youngest looking geriatric you know, Anthony Mark Barrow, with me in the studio today again.
Wow.
He's got a great recurring on Criminal Minds that airs this week, next week, and possibly the following week. And by the way,
yes,
I know you've been on the show before. I know we roast each other constantly, but I
think you roast me. I'm just here as a willing participant.
True. However, I want to say I'm going to bring this up in a little bit. I want to talk about it. I saw some of your performance on Criminal Minds. Blown away. No, I'm being serious. I am blown away. I know we're like friends and everything, and I've seen you act before. Honestly, it's inspiring how good you were. And real quick, before I start talking about it, I'm actually exhausted this morning, and I've been starting my mornings off with Magic Mind, which I love.
But I'm going to follow you then.
I love it.
Okay, I'm going to taste it.
You know the crash after caffeine or something? You don't get this with this. It has nootropics, mushrooms, stuff to help your brain work.
Mushrooms?
I love it. Yeah, It does. It's great.
Okay.
I need to ask you real quick, what was the filming process like? Would you mind pulling up the clip, the thing I sent you on the text message? Yeah, thank you so much. Because in my mind, I'm watching this and
I
I'm
knew
like,
where this is going.
I'm like, no way. No way. How does he do it? Because I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have done what you did.
No, that's true.
Yeah. It was so nuanced, real, organic, but this flair to it. And honestly, I'm going on the Emmy website. I'm putting you in for a nomination for this episode. And there it is.
It's training.
Now, I want you guys to see this. This is the same photo or three different photos?
Oh, no, 3 different photos.
Those are 3 different photos?
Yeah.
How do you do passport acting?
Well, 3 years of training, drama training. There's a lot of inner work there. I mean, you laugh, but it's about visionizing where you are. Visionizing, is that even a word?
It is.
Imagination.
Yeah?
A lot of work gone into that.
No,
a lot of work.
You killed me with this post.
A lot of work.
You killed me, man.
I mean, look at that. I mean,
when you posted it, it was 2 minutes of another guy, and then your picture came up.
I knew you'd appreciate it. But you know what it was? It was, in all honesty, I had no idea they were going to do that.
What do you mean?
They surprised me because they don't reveal too much, and that photo was actually, they'd given me a suit in costume 2 weeks before where I went for my fitting.
Yeah.
And they said, oh no, don't do the tie-up. And I realise now that was all part of the plan to get that photo, but they weren't telling me because this character's going on a journey which hasn't quite been revealed to even me yet. So that was quite surprising. I was like, oh my God. But it sets him up for next week.
Well, this is not a bit anymore. And I remember you telling me when you auditioned for it, you shot it on location.
Yeah.
Which was it in the car or in a garage?
The scene that I believe you'll see next week was shot in Glendale, that closed down the road.
Wow.
At night, and it was a pretty amazing experience.
I bet. Well, you inspired me because you did shoot yours on location. I was like, I got a Criminal Minds audition shortly after you booked yours, and I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to shoot mine on location. I ended up being pinned for it. So thank you.
Been a thing for him and I to be on the same episode. God.
Oh my gosh.
No one's ready for that. No one needs to see that.
It would have been amazing. But I don't know. Might have had too much fun.
Because it would have been the same story arc as well. Because where they're going with this is for the whole season is, I can't reveal too much, but no doubt at some point would have been on set at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Chaos would have ensued. Oh my God. No one needs that anyway.
That'd be so cool.
They knew what they were doing.
Well, you'd love to do an interrogation where you slap me around. You know, you're trying to get answers out of me. You want to improv it right now? How would you do it?
Let's do it. Actually, the week after next, I think you'll see my interrogation scene.
Oh wow! But you're interrogating me, so that way you can slap me around.
You've got no information that I need.
Worst improver ever. Worst improver ever.
This is the brains. Criminal Minds cast me well because I'm the brains behind this whole thing.
Dude, I got to say this. Thank God you wore great clothes today. The last 2 times you were on the show, we got so many comments. You look good today.
Oh, really?
You actually look good.
I just rolled out of bed.
And I'm kind of upset because I made a shirt for both of us, and you didn't wear your shirt.
You can breathe in. You can breathe. Just why?
I'm upset you. Why didn't you wear my shirt I made you, which is my first headshot?
Well, had I known that you were going to do this, I don't know what you call this token of love. You'd have produced a token of love for me. I would have absolutely. I'm speechless. I have no idea.
You know what's cool? You don't know if the food is going in or out. That's what I love about it.
You have too much time on your hands.
It took me 5 minutes on Amazon Prime.
I mean, the fact you've kept that.
Yes.
What's the context behind this, though?
We were on
For those
set.
who don't know, I mean...
Okay, for those of you who are listening, I am wearing a shirt of Anthony when we were on the set of The Getaway, which is an NBC pilot we shot in Mexico. And this was late at night, I believe, and it was our lunch break. And this is a photo of Anthony either placing food in his mouth or taking food out of his mouth because it isn't chewed up enough. Because I think that day you didn't have your dentures. And so what happened was...
Unbelievable. I mean, it's so funny because that's the kind of thing I would do.
Yeah?
So
why didn't you do it?
I have too many other things to be concentrating on.
That's right.
But it's a work of great art, that is.
It really is.
If
I can make a billboard, if I had money,
I know where this is going.
I'd be like putting this picture on like
everywhere,
Sunset, on a billboard, and with your Instagram, be like, hey, check out my friend Anthony on Criminal Minds.
You would, you would. It'd be everywhere. A recurring bad nightmare.
Can we Photoshop that?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I love photoshopping stuff.
Yeah, AI, dude.
No,
it's
that
awesome.
one wouldn't be AI.
But-
That'd be my own.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
But the enthusiasm,
Yeah, of course.
the last syllable, and she's yes.
Yes.
Do that.
Yeah, it's great.
Not even the process of thinking about that, Alex.
It's good for numbers.
Okay, fine. I will support the cause.
But do you ride a motorcycle, or is this just...
Do I? I used to, and then I had to put it aside because I had a child. But it's just a look.
It's good.
It's quite cold. Normally, it's quite cold in this studio, so this was a well thought out idea.
That's right. You love the warm weather. We talked about this before.
Yeah, I hate the cold.
I'm the opposite. I run so hot constantly. Constantly run hot.
Never seen it, but I'll take your word for it.
Come on, man.
Never
By
seen
the
it
way,
hot.
dude, the only guy in the universe
Who
who
sips.
sips on Magic Mind. It's a shot. Take it all.
Do you know what? That's the difference between you and I.
What?
I savor things.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Dude. My name's Anthony.
You know what? I can't wait for us to work again now that you've had more experience working on TV. Because I remember when we worked on The Getaway, we'd be doing rehearsal, and then you'd come up behind me like, sorry, Wesam, what does this mean exactly? What do these cameras do? Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Oh, I really appreciate you.
Eric Messer, he's lying. Eric Messer is the showrunner for Criminal Minds. That's probably why you didn't get the role and I did.
Probably not. You probably said something.
Thank you, Erica.
You burst into our office. I am not doing this. If we say it.
That was in my contract.
We got to do a comedy. That's what we need to do.
That would require at least one of us to be funny.
Me, I would be holding up the show. I'd be carrying your weight.
Okay.
You think you're funny?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm not funny.
I'm funny.
You are funny.
Right. So there we go. Oh, my God. We're going to have to edit this out. All the energy is lost out of this show. Are we on a commercial break yet?
No,
Please tell. Oh, Jesus Christ.
you are 30 seconds away.
30 seconds. Okay, say something before we go to the break.
Join us after the break.
No, that's the worst to say.
Comedy.
We
you
have-
see? You see? Look at that response. It's in the delivery. Thank you very much.
We're taking the break early. We'll be back with more talk on Criminal Minds, and
See you soon.
we have Anthony's blood work ready. We'll be back. And we're
Comedy.
back. And we're
Timing.
back.
We are back.
Have you done blood work recently?
No.
Come on, man. We're worried about you here in the studio.
I don't know why I do this to myself. I just come in for a verbal and physical and psychological abuse, but that's fine.
I can't believe we teach at the same institution still. That you haven't fired me.
No, I brought you in because I believe that you are a master at what you do.
Thank you.
Look, I am.
Thank you.
No, it's true. You are very good. You are very good at what you do.
Thank you. You too.
Actually, that was born out of when we were working together.
That's right.
A couple of years ago, and I was still teaching, and you had a lot of knowledge. And at the time, I thought the school needed that kind of knowledge, and brought you in. Couldn't get hold of you for a while because you were working, and thankfully, because of the strike, we're able to bring you in, and you're still here.
I got a question for you. First of all, thank you for that. I know. Okay. Everybody knows that, so you didn't have to say that. We might edit that out. That's my new thing over the whole episode. No, thank you. I actually wanted to bring something in particular up with you. Have you traveled a lot with your work, like on like weekend after weekend after weekend on planes, or is it more like you're there for a certain amount of time and then you leave? And I'll explain why I bring this up.
Both. In my career, both.
Okay.
But primarily long-term travel, whether that's 2 weeks or 4 weeks in Mexico, 2 months in Jamaica. Prior to that, when I was in England, doing world tours when I'm away for 6 months in different countries. So, yeah.
I recently listened to a podcast where comedians, some older comedians, they were like in their late 30s, early 40s. They were talking about how the traveling to do comedy clubs with like flying every weekend is exhausting, and how a lot of people are like, how is that exhausting? You're traveling, you're getting to like, and so could you expand a little bit? Because when people think, like when I was shooting Law and Order, I was flying back and forth between each episode,
I remember.
between here and New York.
Yeah.
That was exhausting, and I know it doesn't sound like it, but
And you were doing that every week, weren't you?
every weekend, and sometimes I would finish an episode, come out here for the weekend, and then that like Friday I would fly back in, and then Monday morning I'd be leaving, or Sunday evening I'd be leaving.
It's exhausting because that's only precious. We're artists, and whether you're a comedian and you're flying in and you have an audience, that's exhausting. You have to give yourself from them, and certainly when I used to do a lot of theatre and we did world tours, it was great to be in France or whatever country or Spain or wherever, and in the day you have time to go and be a tourist, but primarily you're there to work. And I remember having to go back to the hotel and sleep because an audience are coming to see you, and that requires a lot of energy, a lot of the ability to be present. So did you have the opportunity to stay in New York? Because that's a huge choice you're making to come back, because you're repleting your energies knowing that you've got to go back to still deliver on the job. So salute to you, but I mean, you got to do whatever works for you.
I couldn't stay in New York.
Right.
2 reasons. Podcast. I was getting my yoga teacher certification training, and I was shooting another show. That was only really one weekend out here that was supposed to be recurring, but at the other time it was 2 other shows, and one of them fell through, so it was just Law and Order. But it's difficult for me to live in Law and Order, and I'm being completely frank, in New York without being a series regular. If you want to like have me stay in the city, you got to be series regular.
I'm here to help. Get to know Siri at apple.com.
Great.
That scared the bejeebers out of me.
Didn't scare me.
Why?
Didn't scare me.
It's because it takes a while for your brain to process what happened.
No, you're shaking. Look at my hand.
I'm fine. But yeah, because first of all, New York, awesome place to work. If you're living there, if you're working there, fine. But for me, just to hang out in New York City.
But you were working
Working, yes.
Yeah.
But I'll be there and live there if I'm working. If I'm not working, I'm out of New York City.
But that's a slight contradiction because you were working there, weren't you? You were filming there, but you were making a choice at the weekend to come back. See,
No. It was because it's not a series regular, and I had other things I needed to do out here.
Gotcha.
But also, it's not like a city I haven't been to, or it's like Tokyo. It's like, okay, of course I'll stay in Tokyo for the whole time we're shooting. I'm not leaving Tokyo, you know? Now, if it was like, hey, do you want to stay in Atlanta or Miami? Well, the whole time, no, I don't. Nothing wrong with those cities, but I don't want to stay there for months and months on end. If it's a brand new city I've never been in or something like that, then yeah.
Would the work dictate that? So let's take the city out. Let's take the location out. Would the work dictate that though? Because why I say that, in this last week, I had an opportunity to work in Atlanta, which I turned down. I thought I have no interest. I mean, that was partly to do with the project though, but also to do with, I've never been to Atlanta, but the project dictated, because if it was a great project, I'd have probably gone, but I thought no. So the project has something to do with you staying as well, doesn't it, or not? Or your workload on it?
Workload is critical. For instance, if I'm in the middle of the episode, right, and I work Friday, and I also work Monday, I'm not going back home.
Right.
Unless it's a different episode.
Well, I think that was what you should have made clear, because I was thinking, well, depending on what was happening on the Monday, I wouldn't do that to myself. But if you got a few days off, I think that's a different conversation, isn't it?
There's a perk too with flying back and forth so much, and it's the miles that you get with your little account number, and that helps. That you get like a free flight after all that stuff, but it's a lot of flying, and the time difference. I know it's not huge between here and New York. It's about 3 hours, but eventually, I mean, I was
3 hours plus the 6 flying,
and your sleep schedule is thrown off, and also this was during COVID protocols, so I'd have to wear a mask on every single flight. I'd be tested constantly. I was worried. Like, I was surprised, in all honesty. I didn't catch COVID in that entire 6-7 months. It wasn't until December where I got a sinus thing, and I was like, oh, this is COVID. This is COVID. It wasn't COVID. It was a whole, like, just sinus infection. Right. And so I was like, oh, well, that's pretty good. All that traveling, all those people. But I wouldn't change that for the world. I love that, but it is exhausting. That's the part where this is the whole reason I'm bringing this up. It doesn't sound, for somebody who hasn't done it, like it, because the first couple times you do it, it's so exciting. Oh, you're talking to the driver, you're on the plane,
nice
business.
hotel.
Oh yeah, you are in it. But then after a while, there's something about human nature that when you give somebody the same thing over and over and over and over again, it's not that you're not thankful, but it loses the glamour.
But in our line of work, though, the repetition, I think, each time you get one of those offers, it slightly improves. Do you not think, in terms of, I mean, I don't know whether I sound materialistic, the hotel becomes slightly more expensive. Do you know what I mean? You're able to dictate.
I'm almost on the top.
You're almost allowed to dictate kind of.
Yes and no.
Your comfort level.
No, this is where I disagree with you. Because, okay.
I mean, you know what? Actually, I take that back, because that sustains you for 2 or 3 days, and then you're like, no, I need the comforts of my own home.
Exactly. And I've been lucky and blessed, and I'm thankful. I want to make sure that we're both very clear. We're both very thankful of these things.
Absolutely.
But it's the certain perspective where people are like, how could you not constantly enjoy that? Now, yes, I would take working like that over not working any day. However, that takes a huge toll on you.
It does, actually,
Being around people at the airport is some of the most draining things in the world. Peyton, do you feel like that when you travel at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it's just constant, like, anxiousness, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right, Alex?
Yeah.
Getting on the plane's the great thing, getting there, but then, that journey to get to the airport, waiting, that's just.
And listen, the nicest hotel room is great, but after I've been on certain projects like the Getaway, we were at a 5-star resort.
You can't.
I mean, we had our own homes basically, right?
Yeah.
Literally tiny homes. They called casitas on there. By week 2, I was like, I hadn't worked yet. Right. I was literally on vacation for 2 weeks, and I was like, this is awesome. I want to work. I can't do this I want to work or get out of here back to my home base.
But you know,
It's weird how the human mind is like that.
I have an issue with that
Okay.
because I remember, I think I said to you on that particular job, you know, actors, we tend to moan about everything. Even we moan when we're not working, and when we do work, that job was for me a once in a lifetime because I've never been to Mexico. No, I've been to Mexico, but not to that part of Mexico, and certainly not to a resort like that where I have my own private villa with my own swimming pool and hammock and all the accoutrements that came. And I remember within 2 or 3 days, in fact, the morning after I got there, had my breakfast at the pool, and one of the producers came up and apologized and said, "Look, we're running behind. Would you mind staying another week?" I'm like, "Yes, not a problem." It was great. I'm like, "Oh my God, wow. In this environment, another week, it could be a lot worse." And I remember saying to you, I think it was, that job for me was a reward for all the no's that I'd ever gotten.
Yeah.
Because it was an incredible environment. I thought this was going to be a show that was going to go to air. It didn't, but the experience, I just loved it. And I promised myself that every single job after that, I'm going to enjoy every single moment, because now when I'm in between jobs,
Yes.
I would love to be having that problem.
Right. I agree with you. And again, I'm thankful and always thankful and thankful for all those kind of jobs. I think where I'm coming from, as well as, again, I want to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got paid for all that extra time, by the way, which was awesome. But I could do a week, personally, of chilling and doing nothing. A week.
But you being there, you're working. Does that make sense? I like,
yes
as an
and
actor,
no.
I'm not only working when I'm on set.
Right. When I say that is, I want to be working on set.
Right, you want to be in front of the camera doing your craft.
I want to be.
Honing your craft.
I want to. Yeah, because
I understand that.
It's a little bit of a distraction, and I don't mean that in a negative way. And by the way, that was my first job in a year and a half from what happened with COVID and everything. And so I was like, oh my God, this is like a nice little reward, a vacation. But even a week in, I'm like, I want to work.
Let me do my thing.
Let me put me in front of the. I can't wait to get in front of that camera. I can't wait to
Put me on, coach.
Yeah, like I want to play.
Yeah.
I want to play. This is all awesome. It's great, but I don't want to be distracted ever by that to the point where, like you, I'm lazy with it. Right? Like.
No, I'm just ready, man. I'm just. You know, here's the thing, Wesam. I've got to.
No, I'm kidding.
I've got to hold you
kidding.
accountable for that, because here's the thing, particularly as educators.
Okay.
We are always encouraging our students to be present.
True.
So if
True.
if you've arrived, Peyton's directing, but Peyton's not ready to film you for another 4 days, you'll get to where you need to get to. Just be present in the now.
True. You're right.
So otherwise, I'm always trying to end game. Just
Right.
live in this.
Right.
I mean, I know you can, but I think I understand what you're saying. But you know this thing called life. I'm going to get left field now. Time is very precious. It's all we have.
Yeah.
And I refuse to, and it's a bad habit that we all have nowadays, is wishing our life away. Yeah, but I want to be there. You'll get there. Be here. Be present. Be in the now.
Yeah.
Question: in all the downtime that you had there, I know that you were doing your podcasts. Did you have time to be at one with yourself, whatever that meant?
Yeah, there were moments. First of all, thank you for that. I really appreciate you saying that, because you're right. There needs to be more of that, and it's hard for me sometimes.
So I think part of that as well, Wesam, I remember mid-COVID, suddenly everyone thought they had to be doing stuff. And I thought, no, guys, this is the great reset. I think COVID happened for many reasons. And we're all on this constant treadmill to be proving and posting things that we were doing stuff. No, we can't go anywhere. We can't do anything. Be okay with that. Yes, there's a point where it became frustrating. But for the first 2 weeks of COVID, I loved it. I'm like, I've got my family around. No one's going anywhere. There's nowhere to go. I'm not losing out on any jobs. Let's just sit and be at one with ourselves. And obviously we came out of that. But the many lessons, I think, that as a society we were meant to learn from COVID were quickly forgotten.
Yes.
So maybe for me, being there, I thought, no, I've just been locked in the house for the last year and a half. I'm going to enjoy being here. And when they're ready to call me, okay, I'll be ready.
Wa-
You know,
Was COVID different from the Spanish flu for you?
I have never had the Spanish flu. I don't know what that is.
Oh, you know,
Is
in
this a metaphor?
No, it's in 1902 with the Spanish flu and COVID.
I was trying
in
to
2000.
elevate the level of this podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I just lowest common denominator.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
No, I'm not right. I'm right from my perspective, but that doesn't mean that I'm right from your perspective.
No, there is
No?
truth to what you're saying, and it's resonating with me. There is, and I wouldn't just say that because there is truth to that. While I was there, I was doing my podcast. I was working on self tapes. I was doing other things. So yeah, that was nice too. But I don't want this to come off, and it might come off to some people like I hope not pretentious or you're not appreciative, but because I am appreciative of everything. I like to do. I've been very lucky in my life where I've experienced so much so far. I'm turning 37 this year. I've gotten to do things that in a quarter of my life that most people don't ever get to do in their lives.
Right.
I'm so thankful for that. I think I counted the number of times I've traveled on an airplane like 75 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. That's a blessing in its own, traveling to all different places in the world.
Yeah.
So when I talk about like, hey, do you want to stay in New York City for like 6 months? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because I've been
You've
to
ticked that box.
right, and also spoiler alert, New York City is not the best city in the world. Okay? And I don't want to stay there.
But I'm going to challenge you. As an artist, there's a lot more inspiring things to see and listen to in New York than here, for example. If that was me,
Huh?
there is.
Anthony?
If you look for it.
Anthony.
If you look for it. I'm into theatre, right? So if I was working in New York for 6 months, twice a week, I'd be going to the theatre at night. I'd find things. There's amazing museums and galleries. That's just who I am.
Anthony.
Yeah.
I went to some theater shows while I was there.
Still wasn't cutting it for you.
They were shit.
Great. And that can happen. But you could also find the good ones. I mean, that's always going to happen anyway, isn't it? When you think about it.
Anthony, do you think that I would willy-nilly not try to find things that are artistically satisfying or that would build me up while I was in New York City? You think I would just sit in my hotel? I actively looked.
But also that's part of it as well, seeing things that are crap.
Yeah, but it was one of those things where it's not crappy enough where I love it.
Right.
It's somewhere in the middle.
It's
crap.
mediocre.
I want to. If it's crap, I want to see it on the other. Like it's
crap is good, isn't it? Crap is good. Mediocre is terrible.
Oh,
I
I
think.
love. By the way, we all need to go see Fringe Festival this year with the new plays. That is my favorite thing to do in the world. I love watching bad shows
Right.
on
It's
that
important.
end of the spectrum. Anyway,
I hear what you're saying though.
I don't know, man. I'm just a very.
But you know what? I understand and feel everything you say, but I think, and it's of late, by the way, I've got to a point in my life. If anyone gives me a negative, I'm turning that into a positive. And I don't know how or when that's happened, but it's been a recent thing. I think actually it's part of raising my child. Sometimes they can come home with negative stuff that's happened at school, and it's my job. I'm going to turn that into a positive. So you can sit there, son, and moan about it and decry what's happened, or are we going to turn that on its head and make it a positive?
Okay, how about this? I'm your son. I'm coming home from work, okay? Or from work, oh my God. From school, excuse me. What grade am I in?
You've just finished 5th grade, so you're about to go into 6th grade.
Yeah. I had a bad day at school today, Daddy. I had a bad day at school today, Daddy. Daddy, I had a bad school.
Okay, I acknowledge your feelings. What was bad about it?
I didn't get to play as much as I'd wanted to on the schoolyard. They took us in 5 minutes early.
Why did they take you 5 minutes in early?
I don't know.
Did you ask?
No.
And you allowed that to dictate the rest of your day?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're not telling me?
No.
Would you like me to give you a hug?
Yeah.
And I promise you, that hug's going to make him feel better. Is that it? Oh, Lord.
What in the world was the point of this?
I
wanted to see what he would do.
Okay.
He's my daddy, and so like I wanted to see how you turn this
I'm
around.
glad you've told everyone that I'm your daddy. I've been trying to tell you for the last
Oh
2
no,
years.
that's gonna be a sound bite.
It's going to be a soundbite. He's my daddy.
Oh my god. All right, that's good, dad. That's good, dad.
But
move.
no, I've taken that, and look, where we work, we deal with a lot of fragility with actors coming in, bearing their souls and having to come in with lots of external influences. And sometimes you have to be a mentor, even if you're hearing a lot of negativity. I'm going to put it on you. I never try to come up with a solution. I pose the question back like I just did.
Mm-hmm.
But what could you have done? Are you allowing this to influence you negatively? Is it really, in the grand scheme of things, if you were brought in 5 minutes early, how many minutes in this day, and you're allowing that 5 minutes to influence the rest of your day, son?
Right.
And if so, is it really about you being brought in early, son? Or are you hungry? Are you tired? Do you want to drink? Do you want to sleep? Has someone upset you? It's very rarely the reason.
Mm-hmm.
You're offering that up, but I don't think it's that.
Mm-hmm.
And we only find that by asking questions, but I'm not going to find a solution. And when you give me whatever your reasoning is, I have to somehow flip it and make it a positive.
Mm-hmm. Socratic method. That's great.
I'm not perfect at it, but also try and do that to myself a lot.
Yeah.
And I've learnt that with dealing with 11-year-old, but also in the line of work that we do when we're not in front of the camera, as educators, as teachers, as directors, having to solve problems, or seeming like we're solving problems, but actually handing it to the actor. Like the way I direct, I never direct. I don't tell you where to stand. I watch you make a choice. And as a director, if I don't like the choice, it's about me posing questions. So Wesam, why did you move to Alex at that moment? I don't know. But what did Alex do or say to you that made you move?
Yeah.
And if you can't articulate that, okay, let's go back and explore that then. And good directors do that. They'll challenge you. They'll never tell you what they want. A lot of directors do, but I call them dictators.
Mm.
Think about director. Think about direction. It's heading in a certain area. But there are directors out there who tell you what to do. Great, I can work with those, but I prefer to enter into dialogue. Like, so Wesam, why did you do that? That's a dialogue. That's a process that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's empowering the actor. And again, I learned that by raising a child.
But I'll tell you what. I've worked with Peyton on some small directing things, and what I like about Peyton's style, and it's a little bit of both though. I don't want the director, for me personally, to ask me everything. I want them to be like, hey, this is what we're looking, this is what I want, like you be this.
But this is a certain level. I'm on about who we work with. We have to get them to think a lot.
Are you talking about students?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
If I was to direct you, you're able to come in with a million choices and shift focus really quickly. There's minimal work. That's just tweaking. As opposed to in the landscape that we work with, these are actors who for the most part don't have such extensive experience. And I'm just getting them to try to be present and work off the other person. Does that make sense? There's a big difference between me working with them and say someone like you.
Oh, you're really smart, man. No, you really like.
Very good at what I do.
You've had a lot of experience, man. I really like you.
Anyway, all that to say,
I love you.
Be more positive.
Yeah, I know you're right. No, you're right.
And it's hard though, Wesam. It's hard. It's hard.
You know, I can't wait till next week. I'm going to visit my brother Daniel. I love hanging out with my brothers. I need that time.
Good.
And I can't wait to go there, reset a little bit. Going to Scotland later on this year, which I'm excited. Just another reset mentally of everything. I want to do more stuff like that.
Which will force you to slow down. And, I love it because you're ambitious and your ambition is tangible and I love it. But going somewhere like Scotland will make you slow down and look at this, the greenery.
Yeah.
And that would be a good reset for you, to be present.
Can I share something with you?
Please.
I know some people see it, but I don't think I contain it very well. I feel inside of me I have this great fire.
Oh, I see that. I feel it.
I contain it a lot of times, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why I'm enjoying jiu-jitsu. It's some physical way of me like getting it out, and I need to find a better balance with that and not feeling so drained at the end of the day. Because funny enough, sometimes if I don't do anything and I don't let that fire to get out, I'm drained. I feel like it eats at me. It burns away something in me. Is that weird? Is that weird?
No,
what I'm saying?
Not at all. I completely understand that, Wesam, in as much as this industry can do that to you. And look, you've been very successful.
Sorry. I know I mess up the camera shot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Peyton. Are you upset?
Why'd you have to say it out loud?
Because
we
I-
were being so good and discreet about it.
I know I messed it up. I had to.
Then-
So where's good? Where's good? Because this is I need to.
No,
figure
that's
this
good.
out.
It's just when you lean forward on the table.
Like
See,
that's
see
bad?
now see we got your whole head.
Oh, that's fine.
You're-
I don't mind.
that's good?
I don't mind if we mess up his shot.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Then
no.
never mind.
Yeah,
Carry
okay,
on.
that makes sense. Thank you.
Negative into positive. If he feels he needs to do that to feel good, I'm okay with that.
Ew. Oh, I didn't. That felt so artificial.
No, that's fine.
Can we take it from the top? Back to
Yes.
one. This business does the. It feels like it eats away sometimes.
And that, I think, your feeling comes because you have had a lot of success and taken on some great roles. However, if you were a student of mine, I'd say, look, Wesam, why are you stressing about stuff that you can't control?
I know.
You do phenomenal self-tapes, let them go. The only thing you can control is how we feel on a day-to-day basis. We all want to work, right? And I think that the projects that are right for us are going to come as and when they're meant to. There's nothing we can do in the interim other than stay present, be alive, do our arts, hang out with family, friends, appreciate life. As opposed to, I want to be over there. Well, you'll be on your next project when you're meant to be on your next project. Otherwise, there insanity lies, man. But interesting enough, talking to you of late, you said that you wanted to start writing. Great, that's another avenue where you're slowly starting to take control. Well, you know what? I'm not waiting around anymore. I'm going to write. I think there's a new renaissance in Hollywood where a lot of young people, because I'm quite old, are taking hold of their careers and just creating stuff.
I think this renaissance is going to be amazing.
I know a lot of young people who are creating a lot of content and getting it noticed because, ironically, 10 years ago when I came here from England, there was a whole conveyor belt to go to drama school, do lots of theatre, do a bit of TV, and then earn your stripes to come here. People leaving drama school thinking, excuse me, fuck that. I'm not doing all that shit. I'm going right now. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't. I'm like, actually, why can't you?
Yeah.
Who says you have to earn your stripes?
Yeah.
And I love that mentality. No, we're not waiting for you to call us. Yeah. We're going to create shit and you're going to produce it and I'm going to be exec producer and star in it. I'm like, look at these guys. I think it's amazing. They're not waiting around, that they're not getting frustrated. Like Michaela Cole, the incredible success she had was because I'm at drama school, no one's writing for anyone who looks like me. I'm not doing a showcase because you're not going to sell me. Fuck that, I'm going to write Chewing Gum Dreams. One woman show gets picked up by the National Theatre in a pub theatre, then gets put on TV, and then boom, she's writing multiple series and exec producing and starring in it.
That's incredible.
She's her own boss. She gets to decide who she employs and when she takes time off.
Mm-hmm.
And is turning, by the way, big money offers down from Hollywood. So I get where that fire comes from, and when I'm hearing you say that you want to write stuff, I encourage you to do it.
Yeah.
So let's just say that in a year's time, I'm going to call him out publicly now. In a year's time, you have to have written something and been pre-production.
Well, I've already written 2 shows, so
Good.
so
Write it, but what are you doing with it?
No, we're actually pitching it.
Great.
Yeah, listen, we got to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back. And we're back. Me and my buddy Isaiah, we've actually had pitch meetings for the pilot. We started revisiting it.
Great.
Because it's really interesting what happens when you don't, when you put something on the shelf for a while, months and months and months and months go by, and then you come revisit, you're like, oh, I see this completely different now. It's quite amazing.
Right.
And yeah, it's just also these meetings and stuff that we've been trying to do. The industry's in a weird place right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of cost cutting going on. I mean, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, in terms of certainly in network TV land, finance is dictating a lot in terms of shows being cut, episodes being cut, fees being cut, of which we know about. But we're still in it.
Yeah,
we're still in it.
I just wish they would keep Hollywood productions in Hollywood. They're not. The state is not helping out with that at all.
You can't afford to, can it?
They can if they want to. You know the cool thing about politics, when people want to do something, they seem to want. They'll do it. If
they'll find a way.
Yeah, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It will be fine. It is fine. Anyway,
man. Gosh, you're so wise, man.
I'm not at all.
So calm, collected, and
I'm learning to be.
I'm just imagining you as you leave the show. You get on your motorcycle, you go off into the sunset.
Actually, talking about the shows and being calm and collected. No, I'm not. Talking of Criminal Minds, the first night I was on there, shout out to Adam Rodriguez for being a great director. My first ep on there, and there's this shot on the top of a building, and I'm walking down, and you just see all of these people here for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's intimidating.
Really?
For a second it was.
Okay.
I took a breath, thought, no, this is what I'm about.
Yeah.
I wasn't calm. For 5 seconds I was not calm, because I looked down and I saw, 200 crew, all the extras, all this stuff, locked off a whole road.
Wow. And
the shot was, in one, me walking down this building, being followed, then I have an altercation with RJ Hatanaka, who's one of the series regulars, over my car. I've got this beautiful black Porsche, and we have this kind of argument prior to me getting into the Porsche, and then I have to drive it off. I am so scared because this Porsche is so expensive. And I'm like, oh my God, don't give me this car. But I thought, no, these are the kind of roles you want. Do you know what I mean? It's very James Bond-ish, and it's very filmic how they filmed it.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to have a wobble for a second.
Yeah.
And I wasn't confident, but
did you do your accent in the Criminal Minds?
I did indeed.
Oh, so you have your normal accent, right? Where you're like, you'll never get the codes. You'll never get the codes from me.
He is very Bond, this character.
Yeah.
Oh,
James Bond.
Yeah.
Like not the bad guy in a James Bond film, but the good guy.
No. He's
like Jim.
He's interesting. He's ambiguous at the moment.
Could you give us, if you were James Bond, obviously, like 40 years ago or whatever, if you were able to be cast in it, would you, like, how would you do the shaken, not stirred line? Or Bond, James Bond. No, we got to do the James Bond line. So, like, your name, sir, and then you give me the Bond, James Bond. Okay, here we go. Rolling, speed, action. What's your name?
Bond. James Bond.
Oh, my God.
Cut. No. Just a choice. We'll go again. She doesn't like that. We'll do it again. I thought you might be from Africa.
Me as the director, just at Video Village, just staring at the screen for 1 minute.
It's a choice. She can do it again, or
yeah, again, please. I'll be the director. Come on. Hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
Just keep it cool. Very cool. Bond is cool. Remember, very cool.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Back to one. Rolling and action. What's your name, sir?
Bond. James Bond. Is that cool enough for you? Just another choice? No?
Your IMDb star meter just went.
You just said you were going to Scotland, so I thought I'd make him Scottish.
I did. I got that.
Okay. No?
You can do it. That was your Scottish accent?
Vire Island, yeah.
Vire Island. Classic.
You know.
I do more Skye. Skye. Have you heard of Skye? The city in Scotland, Skye?
It's not a city, it's an island.
Okay. Potato.
I apologise. For everyone who lives on the island of Skye, I apologize.
I'm sorry. Where are you from again? What city in England?
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Where Peaky Blinders is.
Monday, Tuesday,
That's not a Birmingham accent.
Wednesday, Thursday,
It would sound more like
Friday,
Monday, Tuesday,
Saturday,
Wednesday,
Sunday.
Thursday,
Dude, I
Friday,
would
Saturday,
have
Sunday.
fucking killed it in Peaky Blinders. Are you kidding me? Me and Peaky Blinders? Are you kidding me?
I think you would have done the show a huge disservice, but that's just my opinion.
Excuse me across from Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy would have been like, you do that, and then I would have been
We've
like,
had a
but do that, buddy.
We've had a conversation about Tom's turn in Peaky before.
I know, I love it. You don't like it.
No, I
You
don't-
said he was shit. No.
Tom, I never said you were shit. I just said at times there were two different worlds, but that can work.
Bro, I
I love his bravery.
yeah.
His bravery.
With Tom Hardy, I get amused. I can tell he's having fun, and that for me as an audience member, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
If he's having fun, I'm gonna have fun watching him.
Absolutely.
I try to tell my students that, like, do you guys like this is supposed to be fun too? Like,
See, and that's what I think he brings into it, the element of having fun and just discovering stuff.
mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, but you said he was shit and that it wasn't good, and then you didn't like the producers on it or something and the writers, and what I'm trying to ruin your career.
I know, and Stephen Knight is someone that I really want to work with.
Quote unquote, you said Steve. No, I'm kidding. You know, if we're ever on a show together, and you know how they do the interviews, like promoting the show, I'm just going to tell people I'm your acting coach on set.
I know.
Constantly. I'm not going to stop.
I would just not say anything.
The network's going to be like, hey, you got to stop saying you're Anthony's acting
And I'll say
coach.
he's not going to stop saying
And
it.
no, and I'll go, I'm so sorry. Absolutely, I'll stop. And then I won't stop. I will be reprimanded before I stop.
I think it'd be great fun.
It would be
Imagine the
amazing.
impresses you and I. It would just be ridiculous.
Have you read? By the way, those things are insane. Some of the times you have to make them fun, or else they are. Oh my gosh, they can be mind numbing.
I'm gonna type of actor. I just wouldn't do them. I just find them boring. I'm not doing them.
Yeah, you'd have to. It's in your contract.
Well, you can choose. I know an actor that I work with quite closely who doesn't do them.
Okay, let's do another bit. You ready? Let's pretend we're on a show. Peyton, can you ask us so? What's it like? You ask Anthony the question. Like, what was it like working on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Any show in particular? Just
we were doing a comedy show together.
doing
okay?
a comedy show
Yeah,
together.
Yeah, okay.
So, have I turned up to this presser?
Yeah, me and you are doing it.
'Cause I wouldn't- that's the whole
we're
point, I
both.
wouldn't
No,
turn
no.
up to
You were
I'm-
forced.
No, we're both.
Yeah. It was in your
yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
You had to do one at least in your
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just one.
This is
Yeah.
the one.
This is the one.
Oh, I'll put the effort in for one.
Okay, great.
All right, Wesam, Anthony, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
I saw your show. It was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, thank you, man.
You guys did absolutely fantastic. And I just want to know, where did this all come from? Obviously, you all wrote the show. And so it's just like, what life experience did you all have that motivated you to put this on paper?
Actually, I didn't write it. Wesam wrote it. I just. This is what I have to put up with. This is why I wouldn't do a presser.
I'm sorry. Were you talking again?
See, and this is why.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Put some energy into it, man. We're trying to sell a show. See, he's not good at it. He would need practice. See what I mean? See how boring he is?
I'm English. We English
English-
don't do this very well.
Yeah, but you're so low energy.
I know, I'm
It
like,
bugs
fuck.
me. Okay, you're giving everybody low blood pressure when you talk.
Why talk about the work when it's out there? I'm like, let the work.
Oh, please don't say that.
Because also as well, the questions are always so mundane, aren't they?
Do you even realize how you sound when you say
Yes.
that? Talking to the mic.
Yes, I do. I do.
Unbearable.
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
is why I wouldn't do them.
Yeah. Yeah, you won't do them, man. No, I'm an old.
Anyway, are we going to get back to talking about
Criminal
one here?
Minds?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, and this is not a bit. I'm about to piss my pants. So, should we pause or can we just?
We could just sit here and watch you urinate yourself. That's not
Okay,
really interesting.
can you hold it for 4 minutes?
Yeah, I can hold it for 4 minutes.
Okay, because that's when Adobe's done, and
Okay.
that'll be a good
Yeah.
little pause.
All right, let's talk about Criminal Minds because it airs tonight. Okay, it airs tonight. So, you were off book for it, right? Did you have to have a teleprompter, or are you good?
To be fair, they take the lines to wherever my eye line was.
Okay.
Just to help me out. a little.
Second, I'm annoyed that
Yeah.
you said you were worried about ruining the car, the Porsche, because I would have fucked that thing up.
Oh, second take. I
You
opened
did?
it up. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Um, that's terrible. I did because I thought, no, I'm taking ownership of this, but also shouldn't really reveal this. But the way it was written, the first episode, I thought he could come back, and I thought, let me just give them something to really edit. So first take, I just kind of pulled off doing about 40. Second take, the whole road was closed. It was night. I just opened her up, and apparently it was a different kind of shot. It was incredibly scary though, because that's a powerful machine.
You opened who up?
The Porsche.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. No, I wasn't. No, I didn't mean it like Anthony. This is a PG show. I didn't mean it like that, sir. I was the Porsche. You opened her up, and
The engine, when I got in.
Okay, I don't know that term. Sorry. So you hit the pedal to the floor,
The accelerator.
the accelerator, and you just burned rubber. Is that what you mean?
Burned rubber. I didn't burn rubber. I opened the accelerator up as much as I could. The pedal. We call it the accelerator. Pedal makes you sound like a 4-year-old. Thank you, Alex. I'm scoring again.
Can you imagine if you open her up and
The pedal. You put your foot on the pedal.
you lose control? You crash
Just.
into a building.
Oh, Wesam.
The building collapses on you.
He's horrible. That was a concern, let me tell you.
Oh, I'm not done. People are injured. You never work in this town.
The fact you find it funny is unbelievable.
I'm gonna piss myself. He's like, he's in the hospital. And he's like, I almost killed you.
In traction.
Dude, you're on variety.
Look at this.
You cost the show millions of dollars. They can't. Oh my god, my stomach. Oh, my stomach.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
god, I'm so red. Woo.
You laugh like an old man.
Oh my god. Oh, I would have loved. Oh my god.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Shout out Adam Rodriguez for giving me a lot of license to do what I did that night.
Oh man. Well, listen. Our time on Adobe has come to an end. However, the show continues on. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and you listen to or you're able to. I'm sorry, I'm a little out of it. I'm a little lightheaded, to be honest with you. The full episode is available tomorrow on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you check out Anthony in Criminal Minds.
Yes, sir.
What network is that on?
It's on Paramount Plus, I believe.
Awesome. And you also did story consulting, right?
I did.
On American.
An All American.
On All American, which
did.
we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So tune in tomorrow, and if you're watching on YouTube, the show continues on. So yeah, consulting on All American, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that was a real full circle moment about maybe 15 years ago. Longer than that. I was in Birmingham, in England, and saving up money to come out here. And I took a job at high school teaching drama. And there's a 14-year-old kid who I thought was exceptional, didn't really know what he wanted to do. I said, you're going to be an actor. And I had connections to a theatre school. He hadn't left school yet, didn't know what he wanted to do, but I ended up making a phone call. He ended up going to this theatre school for a year, Birmingham Theatre School, then went to East 15 acting school. And through his work ethic, he happened to be working with a director who watched him work, who that director then called his agent, said, this kid is amazing, you need to come and look at him. And his agent came down, signed him. It's the same agent that he's got at the moment. And from then he started working. And then we were staying in contact, and I got a random WhatsApp message about 7 years ago saying, Pops, because that's what he calls me, Pops, I'm coming to LA. I'm like, why? He says, I can't tell you till I get there. He arrived on a Sunday, and he had a meeting with production for All American, and then the rest is history, and he was on that show as the lead. Shout out Daniel Ezra. And then his showrunner, Nkechi Carroll, who's a showrunner, has always wanted to incorporate Shakespeare into the narratives of the stories because she's a huge Shakespeare fan. So wrote an episode where some of the high school kids are putting on Romeo and Juliet, and got a call randomly from him. Well, not randomly because we speak all the time. would I like to story consult on the show for the episode? And I did, and the director was incredibly accommodating to me, gave me a lot of license. But shout out to 4 new actors who had never done Shakespeare before. Daniel and I had both done Shakespeare, but separately, so it was great to work with him kind of 15 years after I originally had. And I stopped yawning because it's really important for young actors out there.
I wasn't yawning. I was listening.
He's glazing over. He's like,
I'm about to pee in my pants.
When's it my turn to talk?
What are you talking about? You've been talking the whole time in your British accent.
So anyway, this is important.
Yes.
So part of that was working with 3 new actors who had never done Shakespeare. For 2 of them, it was kind of their first big foray into network TV, and they were so young. Shout out to Alexis Chikese and excuse me, I've forgotten your name. Oh my God, no, wrong number. Lionel Johnson.
Wow.
Who had never done Shakespeare. I had a 3-hour session with them discussing Romeo and Juliet. And what I had to remember is, for the show, they're not seasoned actors. They're high school kids doing Romeo and Juliet. So although the verse had to be there, it couldn't be, for example, the same as Daniel's, who had been doing dramas for a while. But the way they took to our sessions, and then watching them take on board all the critical stuff and the technical stuff. Why are you playing footsie with me under the table?
Is that you? I'm sorry. No, sir. I don't mean. Listen. I'm not. This is not a.
He was touching me under the table.
Can you move your silver shoes on that side of the fucking table?
Anyway, we're distracting from the story. I'm about to give these guys some praise.
Yes, please.
They were just incredible in terms of, it was a breath of fresh air to see really young actors, really hungry and coming in so prepared. And the most important person I've got to shout out to is a guy called Tiev, who has a integral role in this season alongside Daniel. And he had never done Shakespeare before, and he had a big scene with Daniel. And I remember asking him if he'd done Shakespeare. He hadn't. And I gave him Romeo and Juliet to read. Within 2 days, he'd read it. And he came in, we had a rehearsal. And just the stuff I was asking him to do, he was just so available. And I remember having a chat with him and said, I've never seen you before. I love your energy. Don't ever lose it. Stay hungry. And what he said to me has really resonated. And I took it back to the school that we work at. His answer was, I'm not hungry. I'm starving.
Mm-hmm.
But Wesam, when I tell you, there's a moment in rehearsal that we were having when something happens to his character and he's watching this other character die. And he was doing it well. And I said, look, in the text, all of these things have to happen. And then in the very last, I guess, take prior to us shooting it, everything just dropped in. I'm like, wow. It was just such a privilege to watch a young actor who, by the way, had previously worked on the lot at Warner Brothers in the canteen. And it's always been his ambition to be on a set doing something. So he'd been around it, but not part of it. And the fact that he said, I'm starving, I could see it in his application. And I had to take it back to where we work and share that and say, how many of you guys are truly starving? Because the level of his work was nothing to do with me. I was just guiding him and giving him things to think about. But the execution and the understanding and the capacity to take a script that's 700, 800 years old, digest it in 2 days, and then come back under the pressure of all the lights with the director, giving him directions, with me helping him along the way, with him trying to stay present, with him with all the crew, was just incredible. And it boiled down to me that this young kid was starving, and I hope that his career goes on to greater heights, because he deserves it. I mean, all of those kids really deserve it, and it's a great lesson, because sometimes in the job that I do when I'm not in front of a camera, which is as a coach, as an educator, director, teacher, one of the biggest problems I have at the moment is so many people are coming into the industry, particularly younger people, and I don't want to sound ageist, who I don't think have the desired capacity to love this enough. I think they're in love with the idea of being an actor, but understanding what it takes, the demands, the sacrifices, the bare minimum that you need to have going on when you step foot on set. And for any one network show, that films over 8 days for one episode, that's possibly, I think it's 3.75 million per day. Sorry, per episode, which is just under 500,000 a day. When you turn up, are you gonna halt that machine, or are you gonna make sure that it runs smoothly? Because for every take that you mess up, if you're coming in unprepared and don't know your lines, and that's another take, it could be another take, but not because you don't know your lines. And unfortunately, some actors that I'm working with, I think don't understand the gravity of what we actually have to do. There can be no excuses when you step on that set, but it was refreshing to work with these three who just came so prepared.
Well, that's incredible. And just shout out their names one more time. I just want to make sure we give them.
Lionel Johnson, Tiev Lee, and I just want to get it right, Alexis Chikese, who will be on All American this coming Monday for the Shakespeare episode. Some great work from the three of them.
That's incredible. Work begets work. So I love that. That's incredible, man. What a great talk with you we've had today. We've run the full gambit. Is there anything else we should hit before we head out? Because I don't want to give too much away with your Criminal Minds thing, because I want people to tune in, and you've talked about it a lot, like behind the scenes stuff and story stuff with you. So I really want people to tune into your episode and see the great work that you've been doing.
Hopefully, I haven't seen it, but what was nice, I went to a rap party a few weeks ago, and
They invited you.
well, I didn't invite them, I just turned up.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
No, I got an official invite, but I guess as actors, we're always seeking affirmation. I tend not to try to do that anymore. The affirmation comes from the director. The affirmation comes from casting, wanting to put you in more episodes. But it was great to walk into the rap party, and the director saying what a great opportunity it was for him to work with you. Then the DP, I remember on the day we were shooting this interrogation scene, it said something to me right at the end, which was just a great affirmation.
They probably had to, though, like, because you're there.
No, they didn't.
No, because
No.
you probably were like, so
No,
was it okay?
I'm not one of those actors.
You're not?
No.
You're not?
No.
You're not?
Nope.
Okay.
No, it's not mine, is it? I'm not there to have my ego stroked. I'm there to serve the story. And if Alex is directing, I'm not going to keep checking in. Anything that she needs to relay to me, she'll come and tell me. If you're not getting any notes, I think that's a good thing. They're trusting you.
Yeah. Or
They've given up on you.
or they say working with I think we should wrap it up for the soundboard, right? We're good. You're good. Just real quick, they say that Christopher Nolan barely gives any notes, and I could only imagine like a brand new actor working on a set like that, and he comes up, you know what I mean? Like,
I got a story about that. One of my best friends, David Jesse.
I wasn't done, but that's okay.
That's okay. I'm bored anyway.
No, that's
David
fine.
Jesse, shout out David Jesse,
Okay.
who was in Interstellar. That was his first major, big, huge movie role, and there was him, McConaughey. What's her name? Is it Hathaway? Is it? Anne Hathaway, and they just arrived at the hotel in Iceland.
Yeah.
And David was like, it's not a name, and they were all over there, and they invited him over, which is so generous. And he hadn't worked with Nolan before, and he didn't realize that Nolan doesn't give notes. But just again, hearing his story, I have to send it to you. His story about having to traverse that world, and in an interview that I watched with him the other day, he said that he realized that when they invited him over, he was the only person around that table who didn't have $1 million in the bank. He realized, shit, I'm on a different level here now. We've got Nolan, who's an Oscar winner, McConaughey, who's an Oscar winner, Hathaway, who's an Oscar winner, and just him.
Wow. That's an awesome story.
But no notes.
No notes.
But also, as a director, he's casting you for a reason.
Yeah, but you
At
got
that, at that level.
True. At that level, no. But I'm talking about like if you're like a brand new actor, can you imagine? It's just like, did he like that one? Or because I don't know, like.
But Wesam, here's the thing that we talk about the work. When you go into set, you've done the work, right? You've done the work.
Sometimes.
You've done the work.
Yeah, of course I've done the work.
I'm not going to show the work, but when I turn up, I know I'm prepared. So I'm not really expecting too many. I'm not expecting acting notes, not really. Technical notes maybe, but in terms of my choices, I'm going to bank on my choices because my
Right.
choices got me the job.
Right.
In a room at home. So given all the externals like costumes, set, good actors to work against, I'm not necessarily concerned about what I'm going to produce. It's going to be better than what you've seen, and you've hired me on something when I don't have all this external influence.
Well, when I'm doing a scene and they yell cut after the applause and the cheering,
Because finally he's leaving set.
lame. Hey, I got a Christopher Nolan story for you, so we can end the show finally. I was, funny enough, working on Law and Order, and I was in the business class lounge.
Yes.
And I had my.
They let you in.
They let me in. I had a little
You're in
drink.
business class, by the way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
normally travel first class. Don't know. He has Tourette's. That's an outburst.
So Christopher Nolan is sitting maybe like 2 tables away from me, and I'm like, oh, cool, right? And then I'm like, oh, the stupid actor brain in me. I'm like, oh, I know what I'll do.
Don't do it.
I'll bring my sides out on the table, and I'll be like working on my sides, so that like the stupid fantasy I had in my mind, Christopher Nolan would look up and go,
do that.
and goes, oh, that ever. And then he's like, oh, that guy has a great look. Oh, he's an actor. Hey, kid, you want to be in my movie?
You did that.
I swear to God.
Why did you do that?
He never came up to me or anything.
But why did you do that?
Like, well, I just said why. The stupid fantasy in my mind would be he looks up, says, oh, that guy's got an interesting look. Oh, he's an actor. Hey, I like your kid. Or I like your look, kid. Fuck. You ruined the fucking joke, Anthony.
Can I say something which is a
Fuck,
new thing that
Anthony.
I've been doing?
What?
By the way, people, give people their flowers.
What?
In
He's
in
losing
no,
it? He's
no,
having
no,
a
no.
stroke?
No.
Call
let,
an
me,
ambulance.
let me explain this, right?
You sound like a
No.
crazy person.
No, I'm going to explain what I mean.
Okay,
So,
give him a flower.
as opposed to you looking at your sides, it would
Okay.
be quite easy just to go over and say, Mr. Nolan, I really appreciate your work. And walk off, man.
No, my way was better.
Okay.
Mr. Nolan, hi.
Do you know why?
Do
Because
you know-
people
do-
like that,
So
ironically,
for the Bane voice,
Shut up.
did you have to re-record Tom Hardy's voice? Because I read in an article.
you'll be surprised. People like that don't normally get flowers like that. And I only say that because on Criminal Minds there's an actress on there that I really, really admire. I think she's pretty magical. And I remember looking at her thinking, oh, I've got to tell her that she's amazing. And I thought, no, I can't. And I went up to her in makeup and I just whispered to her, I said, I think you are incredible. And she went, oh my God. I said, really? And I've done that a few times to people.
Bet you were creepy doing
No, not at all.
I
No.
like your work.
Anyway, give people their flowers in the here and now.
Worst way to end a show. Thank you for coming on. If people want to check out your show, Mental Criminals or something like that,
Mental criminals.
Mental Criminals on Roku, check it out.
When you were looking at Christopher Nolan, was
Yeah.
David Fincher next to him?
No.
You didn't mention me when you walked up to him.
Oh, that's right. You worked with David Fincher as a PA. That's cool, man.
Was Tom Hanks there as well?
It annoys me you've gotten to work with Fincher. And I haven't.
And Tom Hanks.
And Tom Hanks?
Ray Fiennes. Did you work with him yet?
Nope.
Okay.
That you know what? You know why that's annoying? Because you're a terrible actor.
Because it's all true. I am.
Right.
But I am terrible.
Play us out, Peyton.
Play us that, Peyton. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for tuning into the show. Make sure you follow Anthony Mark Barrow on Instagram at the youngest looking geriatric for all his Instagram stuff. Check him out on Criminal Minds. Airs this week and the following week, so catch up on that show. Check out All American as well. And if you're looking for a great acting program, check out IDSA. It's some of the best teachers, some of the best classes, and a great school and culture there, which I love. Other than that, always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye.
Peace.